Welcome to the Rethink Show. I am Torre Washington with my co-host Lance Kearse. We are here with our guest, an amazing guest, someone who I have a lot of respect for, Natalie Matthews. She is an IFBB Bikini Pro. She has a wealth of information, wealth of knowledge. I'm looking forward to talking with her and getting to know more about her. I've known her in this space for a long time. She's also, believe it or not, she's vegan. And she's going to tell you more about that as well. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm so excited.
So, Natalie, welcome to the Rethink Show. You know, we're glad to have you here. And first of all, where are you from?
I'm originally from Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up there, born and raised, and currently living here in Florida.
How do you like Florida?
I am loving it. It's just like home. So it's warm, nice, sunny, perfect.
And you came from, you said California?
Yeah.
Okay, now, how was California in comparison to Florida?
We were in Ventura County, so it was like always foggy and cold, so not my favorite. I enjoy the heat a lot, so this is like perfect for me. That's been nice.
And so you fall in, I know you said it's more like home. What do you mean more like home?
Well, we're close to the island,
Right.
and there's a lot of like island flair here,
Right.
a lot of Puerto Ricans and people from the island, so it just feels like home, people speaking Spanish and all of that, so yeah.
A lot of reggaeton.
Yes, everywhere,
Yeah.
everywhere. It's been weird because in California, I didn't get to practice my Spanish at all, and I kind of forgot and even have an accent now when I speak Spanish, which is weird. And my friends are like, what happened to you? You know? But
I
here,
said that.
Yeah. But here, like, it's been amazing. I get to speak Spanish every day. And yeah, it's been very refreshing. I'm close to family and friends. So it's awesome.
So do you travel often back there to Puerto Rico?
We tried. The last time was 2019, and it was really nice. It was just right after the Hurricane Maria. So things were still rebuilding. So yeah, but I definitely want to make a trip out there again now that we're here and close by. It's only 2 hours.
That's good.
Yeah.
So quick question, Puerto Rico in hurricanes, right? I remember one time it was a really bad one. It broke up some bridges and roads or something like that. Has it been reconstructed since, or?
It's still a work in progress. I'm not gonna lie, there's still parts of the island that are still in very rough shape, even though it's been like, I think over 5 years now, which is crazy. But if you go to the touristy areas, it's like nothing ever happened, but inland, it's pretty serious still. So it's kind of sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your family's doing okay, right?
My family is
Okay.
good, yeah.
Okay. It's great.
Okay. Well, you know, we still got to get into that rethink part of it. Let me ask you, you know, you're vegan. How long have you been vegan?
11 years.
11.
Yeah,
Okay. I
vegan
don't know
for
why I was
11
thinking.
years.
Okay, 11 years. That's good. That's good. Now,
Yeah.
when it comes to being vegan, you know, you've been vegan for 11 years. When you made that shift, what was the catalyst that kind of said to you, okay, this is something I want to do?
Well, it was like a series of a lot of events. I kind of grew up vegetarian on accident because I was a very picky eater. I didn't like meat. The taste of meat grossed me out. So I just kind of ate around my plate and only like the carbs and, you know, the rice and beans, that was it. Everything else I would just move to the side. So when I met my husband, George, he was in the process of removing dairy from his diet for health reasons. And I did all the cooking, so I cooked everything vegetarian.
Right.
And I was like, well, if he's, you know, removing the dairy, that means we're going full vegan. And I was like, at the time, I didn't even know what the word meant, because in Puerto Rico, it's, you know, all about the pork and the animal proteins and the grease, and nothing about the word veganism, like, you know, registered in my head. But basically, we went vegan for health reasons, stuck with it for ethical reasons once we educated ourselves, and that's how we've been able to maintain this lifestyle, because there's no going back once you know.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Once you know
right.
the truth, there's no going back.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah. So quick question. In Puerto Rico, they have a tradition of where they cook the pork, right? But they cook it underground.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know, but I always see, as a young kid, I've always made the connection, like, hey, that's a pork, and it kind of grossed me out just like knowing that that was a living creature. So I would just never eat it. Like, it was not a thing for me. But you go through the streets and they're everywhere. Like, it's just very normal, and the culture is normal.
You mean When you say everywhere, you mean the pigs are just?
Yeah, they put them on the stick and they cook
Ah,
them. The whole
okay,
thing.
okay,
The whole thing.
okay,
Yeah, you're
okay,
seeing
wow.
it.
It's like a rotisserie almost, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And again, I feel like people are just very disconnected. But if you kind of like take a minute and you're like, you know, this is an animal. Like, it's really sad to see that.
It is. I can imagine that.
But do you think it's because of like a lack of understanding of agriculture, like growing foods? Because is it easier to catch a pig or?
I just think it's our culture. I mean, it's been like that for generations and generations. Like, and even like if you go to Puerto Rico, there's not much eating vegetables there. Like, I never remember having like vegetables in my plate. It was always rice, beans, and you know, if there was a vegetable, it was like the iceberg lettuce.
I got you.
Drenched in fat and some, you know, poorly unripe tomato. That was like what we consider veggies. All right. So when I came to the States, it was like, oh my gosh, you know, like that's when I did the transition of going vegan. And when we came to the States and, you know, all these foods were available to me, I was like, I need to learn how to cook them, you know, and that's how I got into the culinary thing. So,
yeah, because that's what I was thinking about when, you know, because I don't know if you guys know, she's a chef, fit vegan chef.
Yes.
Is how she's known. And when I see your recipes and when you create them online, I'm always salivating, you know, because I'm commenting like, yo, when you bring me a plate, because, you know, how did it go from that chef to now being an IFBB Bikini Pro? Like, how did you put that all together?
It all kind of happened together. When we went vegan, you know, and I found that I could make all these amazing foods, it almost opened up my mind because before going vegan, I was just eating mac and cheese. I didn't know how to cook. I was just eating mac and cheese on repeat. So my diet was really not great. And then when I started to like incorporate more vegan foods into my lifestyle, I actually noticed that I was eating more variety. And I was like, I need to learn how to cook this. So I went to a culinary school, a whole vegan culinary school called Living Light in California.
Living Light?
Living Light.
Living Light,
Yeah.
okay.
And I learned so much. It was a raw vegan cooking school, and we learned how to prepare all kinds of foods. And it taught me how to like pair flavors and all of this. And when we were going through that transition, I was like, okay, so, you know, George was doing the whole bodybuilding thing to prove like you're not gonna lose muscle, you know, on a vegan diet. And I was like, well, I want to try this stuff out too, because in the island I was surfing, and when we moved to the States I was no longer doing the surfing, so I wanted to do the bodybuilding as a form of like a competitive outlet, because I lost that competitive aspect in my life. And yeah, the cooking and the bodybuilding kind of paired together, and I was looking like, okay, so how do I eat high protein vegan? And I didn't find anything online, so I was like, well, maybe I can just document my journey and show people how to eat high protein vegan. And I started sharing these recipes and YouTube videos, just teaching people how to do it. And I just fell in love with it. I was like, this is so cool. Like, I get to like share my knowledge with the world and teach, and also like grow as a person, because I was learning, but I was also teaching. So I'm still a student of the sport and everything, but yeah, it just kind of happened together.
Yeah. So I have a question.
Yeah.
Big question. So you're not protein deficient? Like, how do you?
Oh no, absolutely not.
How do you get your protein? I don't understand. How do you get your
I
protein?
probably meet my protein goals more than the average meat eater, to be completely honest. And sometimes, which is super ironic, I don't know if this happens to you, I never thought as a vegan I would get attacked for eating too much protein. In my comment section, it's like, she's eating way too much protein. Who needs that much protein? And I'm like, what?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm like, I've never thought that would be an argument. But here we are. But it's pretty cool, if you ask me.
Well, you know, that goes along with the idea that lifting weights for a woman will do what? What do you mostly hear?
People hear all the time, they say like, oh, if you lift weights, you're gonna get bulky. But that's so hard to do, you know? Like, I've dedicated 7 years of my life to build muscle.
Right.
And you have to be very intentional. So if anything, it's just, you know, going to shape you better. Like a lot of people just want to get tone, but they don't realize that if they don't have muscle underneath there and they lose all this fat, they're just going to be very skinny, you know? And usually that's not what people want. What they want when they're saying the word tone is like they want shape.
Correct.
So you need to lift weights to get shape.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And if you build more muscle, you lose more fat because your body has to, you know, keep up with the weight and the new muscle that it puts on.
And you get to eat more too, which is, I mean, I love to eat. So I look for any excuse. If I can put more muscle so I can eat more, sure, why not?
So would you say lifting weights, building muscle would be good for longevity or?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody should be doing it because it's just going to make you a healthier person. I feel like through health and fitness, like that just will carry over to other aspects in your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we were speaking about age earlier, and you know we were talking about you and your husband, and you said that we're old. I know I'm not supposed to ask this question. You're a woman. How old are you though?
I'm 34.
Okay, alrighty.
Looking like a baby.
Yeah,
looking like a baby.
Does she look 34 though? Like
no.
Don't answer that.
Absolutely.
If it's younger, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way they can give an answer, right?
You know, along those lines too, when it comes to the vegan and the bodybuilding, I want to get into more about the idea of once you started working out and getting ready, you know, just to build muscle and to showcase your journey. When did you say, you know what, I want to go for that goal of becoming a pro?
Oh my gosh, on my first show. I don't know.
Really?
I always say, like, when you get on that stage, there's two things that can happen. You do it and that was a bucket list type of thing, or you fall in love with it and you're hooked for life. And that was me. Like when I walked on that stage, I thought I was going to be super nervous, like gonna suck really bad, but I didn't. You know, I had so much fun up there. And my first show was really cool because the MC girl had like a little bio on all of us. And she was like, you know, guys, Natalie is a vegan. And if she's vegan and she can look like that, I want to go vegan. And that just like right there, I was just like dancing on stage. I was
How long ago was that?
That was 7 years ago.
So 7 years ago.
6 years ago. Yeah.
6 years ago, they looked at you and said, she can look like that.
Yeah.
And just imagine, you probably look at those pictures and think,
oh I was tiny.
Yeah.
I was so tiny. Yeah. I've grown so much since then. But that kind of like lit a fire in me because that day was so much fun and you put so much work into getting on stage for like 10 seconds.
Right.
And so much discipline goes behind that the fact that girl, you know, was really pumped to go vegan. She even went vegan after that. So I don't know, I was like, okay, this is my purpose, this is my mission, this is my why. And after that, I was like, I need to turn pro. I actually turned pro in the NFF first on my second show. Yes. And then I did 3 shows for the MPC before I turned pro. So I went pro in the IFBB really quick. It hardly ever happens like that. I know girls that competed with me in 2018, 2017 that are still yet to get their IFBB Pro cards, competing every single year. So that right there, if that's not a testament that you can build muscle on a plant-based lifestyle, you can be competitive as a pro athlete. I don't know what that, you know?
No, exactly.
So do you think being vegan gave you that competitive edge over those girls who aren't a pro now?
I don't think it gave me an edge. I think it made me an equal, if anything. You know, I think everybody works just as hard, but I think the biggest misconception was that you can't do these things, and there I was proving, you know, proving people wrong.
Right.
Yeah. And Torre too.
I mean, and that's another reason I love you. Is we got our pro cards the same show, same year.
Yeah.
And since then we've just been going at it, and just competing.
Yeah, we did the same national circuit. Yeah, it was really fun. I still think of like 2018 like one of my favorite years because it was so much fun to like do those national circuits. And I don't know, like the pro card chase is so different. It's really fun. Yeah. It's really fun. Yes, it is. Like once you're a pro, you might never win again, you know, because now you're against the best of the best in the world. But in the national, like the competition is just so much fun. Everybody just becomes this tight family. It's really cool.
That's true. Very true.
And the conversations you get to have backstage is really nice too.
Yeah, because you run into people who are kind of fascinated that, wait a second,
Yeah.
what are you eating?
Yeah.
And they don't see you eating the same things they're doing backstage.
Yep.
And they want to know more about it. You know, they're asking like, okay, I got to talk to you because I'm tired of eating the same old chicken and rice.
And broccoli.
Tilapia. I hear a lot of the tilapia and broccoli, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
That's it. And those are supposed to be the magical foods that will get you shredded. Mm-hmm. And so when we're sitting here eating tofu, you know, sweet potatoes, you know, rice, you know, rice cakes, something else, a different type of vegetable. Some people can even get by with eating fruits, and they're looking at you, and then you're drinking water, and they're like, what?
yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
But we're winning. You know, we just got our pro card. We did that, and so now they're like, there's something to this.
Yeah.
But usually what comes after that, as we see online, is, oh, you have to be using something outside of that.
And that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So at these shows, the shows that you guys got your pro card at, right? Was it like a show where they were allowed to use steroids or use any type of PEDs, or was it a clean?
So they don't test in the IFBB or MPC.
Okay.
So we're definitely going up against people that are steroid users or PED users.
Right.
And the fact that we're vegan and natural, you know, that's just like a double whammy. But in people's mind, it's like, this must be impossible. There's no way, you know, there's no way. So,
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
So it's a free for all basically.
Correct.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to.
Yeah.
No one's being tested, but everyone still has to put up the same
Absolutely.
physique.
They don't care. On stage, they don't care. You know, what they're judging is what they're judging.
Exactly.
So they don't care if you are or you aren't. They don't care how much work you put in for months and years. It's whatever you present on stage that moment, that time. For those 10 seconds on stage. It's crazy.
You know, Lance, you know, you mentioned something earlier.
Yeah.
You don't really see bodybuilders that are chefs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so here we have, you know, she's a pro, she's a chef. When it comes to the food that you prepare, do you do that 90% of the time, and the other 10% you may go get something to eat, or you may have, do you do the where people send you meals from companies, you know, things like that, or you like to just prepare for yourself?
I like to prepare all my foods, especially if I'm in prep, it's all my foods. And, you know, I don't know, sometimes I'll go to restaurants and I'll be like, man, I can make it better, you know?
Yes.
So I prepare my own food for prep, and I really enjoy doing like the meal prep Sundays, and I document those too, and I teach people how to do it. And yeah, I just really found a passion for cooking, so for me it's really fun. Now, outside of prep, I do kind of follow the 80-20 approach, where I do enjoy myself during the weekends, and then during the week I just kind of stick to my macros.
Have you ever thought about, you know, since this niche, the vegan meal prep, is, you know, it's still small.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you still have people that do it, but you ever thought about doing it as a business?
Absolutely. In Houston, Texas, actually, when we were living there, I was doing like a little meal prep delivery service for the local people and for most of like George's coworkers, which was pretty fun too. Like all of them would like ask him, hey, what are you doing? You know, so I had a couple people like just ask me, and that was really fun. And I did like a little, for a while, I would go to people's houses and I would do like the pantry cleanup, where I would like swap all their pantry for vegan foods. I would teach them how to cook. And then if they were like, no, I don't want to cook, then I would do their meal prep.
Right.
But it was very hands-on. It was something that, you know, for one person, it was a lot. And that's when I like kind of was, you know, I need to go online and like do this at a bigger scale. So I started doing exactly what I did at people's houses, but on YouTube. So I feel like I can reach more people in that way. So that's why I kind of transitioned to the online.
Okay.
Okay. So Natalie, so all this chef talk, right, you got me excited.
Yeah.
Let's say perhaps we were to hypothetically open a restaurant in Miami.
Yeah.
Would you be the head chef?
I would create the menu.
Okay,
I would create the menu.
Alrighty. You know, as long as we have you involved somehow, right? As long as we have you there.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, another you know, I know Lance, I don't know if you know, you used to have a gym, right?
Yes.
And how was that in having a gym? Because I know
Yeah.
we talked briefly about it, you know, because I think about when you go to gyms, if you haven't been there, sometimes you get that free guest pass or whatever, or you have to pay to go into the gym. Mm-hmm. When having a gym as a business, what was rethink process that you had about how you see them now?
I want to hear this.
It is huge. Being a gym owner was probably one of the hardest jobs I have ever had. It was a lot. And we had a CrossFit gym, so it was a little bit more hands-on than your traditional like bodybuilding gym because you had to be there all day for the classes. But I was telling Torre the other day when we were going to gyms, like, I can never go now to a gym and ask for a day pass. Like, I want to pay and support that gym owner now because I know how hard they're working behind the scenes, and people don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
And,
you're right.
you know, just as little as a thing as like placing the dumbbell where it goes, wiping your equipment, that goes such a long way into keeping that gym environment amazing. And it was something that, you know, as a gym owner would light me up on fire when I would see people just, you know, throwing things around and, you know, not appreciating that environment. And I get it, you know, like it's not theirs, so they're not going to treat it as theirs. But now I can. It's kind of like the vegan thing now that I know I cannot see it. Yeah. So now I want to support these businesses, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's some insight, right? Because, you know, you go to gyms and you're like, oh, this is nice. It must be lucrative.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's a lot of people here.
Exactly.
Right? But you don't get to see the behind the scenes,
it's
right?
a lot of work, yeah. It's a lot of work.
And that goes into the training aspect of getting ready for competition or what have you. The audience or the spectator sees us on stage and sees us our pictures, and they're like, man, they gotta be doing they want to look like that, but they're doing something to get there. Yeah. They don't understand the backstory, the background that goes into the preparation just to look like that for that 10 seconds that you said, or that photo shoot, you know. So the same thing with the gym, you know. When she said that to me, it clicked. Right? You know, it's like, I feel you. Yeah. You know, but then I think, man, sometimes these gyms are like $50 just to go in for the day. And you're like, what? $50? But I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. You get what you pay for sometimes. Sometimes you don't. And that's when it sucks. But yeah.
So let's talk about that. Heading on stage, you know, when you step on stage, you're shredded, you got the striations, the veins, you're vascular. What is that 2-week period leading up to that competition? What are you doing? What's on your plate? Carbs, macros, protein, your cardio. Are you doing HIIT? Are you doing steady state? Like what is it? What does it look like?
Well, when you get to 2 weeks out, you basically just, you know, you already did all the work. So at 2 weeks out, it's just kind of fine tuning everything. For me, at that point, I do take away HIIT. I do HIIT once a week. So at that point, we take it out just to reduce the inflammation. And then I just stick to steady state cardio. My meals around the 4-week out mark are very basic, very boring. That's when I stopped doing like, you know, the flexible, fun food. I just stick to a basic meal plan. So I don't have to think about it. Energy's really low at this point. So low that, you know, just plugging into my fitness pal, you can mess something up. So you just want to keep things consistent. So sticking to a boring meal plan, but I really make sure that even though I'm following a meal plan, I'm trying to keep as much flexibility and as much variety as I can. So I always focus on like having colors, you know, because colors means different vitamins and minerals. So if I'll have like my rice, I'm like sure to have like some seaweed for my veggies, some carrots for like that bright color, some beets, and then seitan. And then for my secondary protein, I'll have tofu with maybe potatoes, and a little bit of like asparagus. For breakfast is usually just cream of rice, a lot of nut butter, and fruit. And then that just stays there, you know, and then I'll repeat those meals throughout the day depending on how my coach adjusts throughout the week. Peak week, I don't really manipulate any water. I just drink my regular water. I'm actually drinking so much on show day, it's ridiculous. And yeah, I just keep it very basic. But I still like to show people like, hey, it can be done. You can get absolutely shredded, eating variety. I feel like variety is so important because a lot of these competitors get a lot of gut issues just from eating just 5 tops foods. Like they'll eat that chicken, tilapia, broccoli, and rice and potatoes, nothing else. And then they're like, well, my gut is messed up. Well, you just depleted yourself from so many things.
There's no diversity in the gut. Yeah.
You created deficiencies and all of that and allergens, and it's just not worth it for me. So yes, I do, even though I try to do it as healthy as possible, there is some risk to getting that lean, even naturally.
Right.
And I just want to make sure that, my gut stays good. So for me, that's really important, just showing that variety and showing like, hey, I'm not eating crappy food. I'm eating good. I'm still getting nourished.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So another question I have, another point I want to make, being a bodybuilder, I always tell people all the time, I'm not a bodybuilder, but bodybuilders are the people you want to go to if you want to know how to lose weight. They're the best at losing weight and making it look good, right? It may not feel good, because I know a few bodybuilders, Torre. Yeah. But what are the macros looking like? Are you higher fat? Is that because you're doing the steady state cardio? That's why you're higher fats, or like what is it? What are the macros? Because I know a lot of people out there probably want to know. They want to know, how can I lose weight, and not necessarily how can I lose weight 2 weeks out from going to Cabo?
Yeah. So the thing is, like, for the regular person, they don't need to get as shredded as we do. Right. Getting as shredded as we do for stage, nobody should even get close to that. Okay. That is scary. It doesn't look good in person. It looks amazing on stage, but in person, at least me, no, I look like a little shriveled up thing.
Leave it to the professionals.
It doesn't look cute. I look sunken in. My face is not cute. It doesn't look healthy. So I would say like 4 weeks out, that's perfect. That's the perfect lifestyle, lean for a person. And
you're about to scare the people.
Hey, I'm keeping it honest.
You gotta do that.
I'm keeping it honest.
Let them know how the pros do it.
Yeah. I'm keeping it honest. I don't maintain that for a reason. Yeah. It's just not healthy. I don't feel good.
So you can't look like that all year?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, I like to stay 6 to 10 pounds away from that stage. And that's where you see me right now, where I'm strong, I'm healthy, I can have flexibility to go out. But I still have abs, I still feel good, and I feel like I call it like lifestyle lean, not shredded lean. It's a difference. And I feel like people just need to get in a calorie deficit. That's simply it. They want I want your macros. My macros don't matter.
Right.
Because I could have a really high metabolism, and that person might gain on my macros, which are just calories. It's a split of calories.
Amen.
Okay, so
protein doesn't make you big, calories make you big, right?
So it's a surplus what makes you big.
Yes.
So you just need to get in a calorie deficit, or if your goal is to body recomp, which that means losing weight, losing fat and gaining muscle, then maybe maintenance. It's a slower process, but it's where I find the magic happens, because that's where you really get to see your body transform. People just want to see results now, so they go into the deficit immediately, and then they're like, oh man, I don't have muscle underneath there. Yep. So I always say try to at least hit your maintenance calories. That means that your body weight stays the same.
Right.
So when you're tracking it, your average for the month is the same. And as far as macro goes, just make sure that you're consuming enough protein. And then the carbs and fat, it really depends on the individual. There's no magic potion here. Some people do really good with higher fats. Some people do really good with higher carbs. I'm somebody that likes the carbs. So I like to have a balance with everything. So I'll do moderate to high protein, and then carbs will be moderate to high, and then fats will be low. But, it just depends on the season that I'm at, because if I'm reverse dieting, my calories will get really high, and then those fats eventually need to get up.
You might need to explain that to the audience, reverse dieting.
Yes. Yeah, please do.
So reverse dieting is once you reach your goal, right? You can't be dieting forever.
Right.
So for some people, they might want to maintain where they're at, because they didn't get stage lean, they can actually maintain that, right? So what you do is you slowly increase calories over time until you reach a really good place, because you don't want to be with no energy all the time, because those are things, or hungry all the time, because those are things that will happen in a fat loss phase. So you just need to get your calories back to a healthy place where you can maintain your result. It's a very slow process, but it's so important.
So you mean to tell me that I can't just lose weight instantaneously? I got to do it over a period of time?
Yes. Absolutely. And then once you lose weight, you can't expect to go back to your old diet and expect to maintain your results.
Exactly.
It's your lifestyle now you have to continue.
Oh, I appreciate that. You know, it's good that you can explain for us, because I know sometimes reverse dieting, a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
You know, because I know with me, dieting, I don't even like to use that word, but
Yeah.
I understand when it comes to the technical aspects and explaining it, like we were talking about, from a 5-year-old to someone who's 80, 90. You know, you want everybody to be able to understand what you're talking about. And reverse dieting, the two words in and of itself, people know those two words. And so when you can explain it in the way you just explained it, they are able to, oh, okay, I get it. Because I don't think people know that's the thing. Some people don't even want to do it.
Yeah,
they're like, I don't care. I just want to go back to eating.
But that's the problem. That's when you get those problems of people yo-yo dieting all the time, because they reach their goal and they're like, I want to eat all the pizza, I want to eat everything. But that's why I find like the beauty in like the flexible dieting as a vegan is so awesome, because you get to include foods and variety in your diet or your lifestyle. And when the diet is over, you don't feel like you were deprived of anything. And somebody that might be losing weight for lifestyle, they can probably incorporate going out once in a week, and they'll still see amazing progress. Yep. And that's the thing, like if you can find a diet that works for you and that you can sustain it, that's like the best thing. You know, that's why the macros don't really matter, because it's what is right for that person.
You know, something, you know, I know you were talking about this earlier, relationships. So you just mentioned you become hangry, right? So you're married.
Yeah.
And so how does that lean phase affect your relationship, or if it does that at all?
Or should we ask your husband?
Well, George knows to not touch my food when I'm in a calorie deficit. There's no like, hey babe, can I grab a little bit?
Oh my gosh.
There's no like, let me taste test what you are making today. No, babe. I made your own. These are my macros. You almost get possessive over it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. I'm laughing because I know your husband, so it's kind of, I can only imagine what he goes through.
That's the big thing. The other thing is he's awesome. He's so supportive, and he does what we call sympathy cardio. So
he does it with you.
He does it with me. So you know how when people get pregnant, the guy is pregnant too. George does the same thing with me in prep. So he will lose weight just because he's on prep with me on accident.
That's awesome.
But he's awesome, because you know when you get that lean, it's really hard sometimes to just take that step. You know, to get stage lean, that next step is so hard, especially when you're 2 weeks out and you're doing a depletion to get on stage. Sometimes having him right next to me, just saying like, hey, you got this, like that just helps me so much. You have no idea.
You know they call that, right?
What?
Trauma bonding.
The what?
Trauma bonding. That's what they call it.
That's funny. We can look
you
at
heard that, trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding.
When I'm at that phase where it's hard to get to do the cardio and you have someone trauma bonding with you.
Is he your trauma bonding?
And you got to do that cardio. Someone next to you talking to you, like just, that cardio goes by so fast.
Exactly.
It goes by so fast.
Exactly.
It's faster than watching a TV show or even a Rethink Show. It's faster to just talk and talk to someone right there. And you next thing you know, 60 minutes, 45 minutes, gone.
Yeah, because when you're doing it by yourself, all you have is your thoughts.
Yes.
And when you're constantly like in that deficit and you're constantly fighting yourself like, no, I'm not hungry. It's so much work. It's so much work. And when you're in that cardio machine, it just feels like an eternity. Like it could be 30 minutes and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the longest 30 minutes of my life. But again, we're talking about extreme circumstances of getting on stage. This is not what the average person should be doing.
You know, that goes and falls on the line of overrated. So, hit cardio, overrated, underrated.
I like it.
So what would you say?
Overrated.
Why?
Well, some people will abuse of it. I feel like they think that's like the magic thing, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy it once and twice a week, and I find tremendous benefit from it because it just makes me feel like an athlete, you know? But yeah, some people can overdo it, so that's why it's overrated.
Okay. So overrated or underrated fasting?
Fasting?
Yeah, like some people do 2 days, 3 days a week.
Intermittent fasting type thing.
Or not intermittent.
Just regular fasting.
Not intermittent, like,
okay.
like days.
Gotcha.
Intermittent,
Yeah.
16 hours,
Yeah,
that's
I got you,
okay.
I got you.
But a couple days fasting, water fast.
I would say overrated, right?
Why so?
I don't know. I don't think people should fast, but that's my opinion. But I know it works for some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We share the same
Right?
belief. yeah.
Right?
Pull-ups, overrated, underrated.
Underrated. I think people should be doing them more. Yeah. I love them.
And I feel like they should be done even if you're not bodybuilding, just in general,
absolutely.
because it's like a calisthenic move.
Yeah, it's a compound. It's
Like
amazing.
compound exercise.
It's
exactly.
amazing.
Compound
I love
exercise.
It.
What's that?
Huh?
Compound exercise.
Where you work out multiple body parts at once. Compound movements are key to muscle building.
That's right.
And progressive overload. That's amazing.
So overrated or underrated stretching?
I think it's underrated. I think people need to do it more.
Yes.
And it's very important, and it helps injury prevention and just flexibility, which is really important for health and longevity.
I have to agree to that because I know for me, I used to do it early in my training. When I started really training, I was like, I wanted to do a split so bad. Like I just wanted to be able to do a split. I would work, and I was getting close. Then I got to a point where I just didn't. It just took up too much time. Mm-hmm. So I said, I'm just gonna go right to the workout. It's not until more recent years where I decided to do warm up, a little bit of stretching,
Yeah.
and then train.
Yeah.
But I still could do more stretching. Hiring a coach, overrated, underrated?
I think people know now that I think it could be overrated, but I think it's underrated, honestly, because I feel like a lot of people think that they can get there on their own, but having a coach is so important. Even coaches have coaches because we need the accountability. Like even pro athletes want the accountability, and we're constantly learning new things. So yeah, I feel like more people are more open now to getting coaches, but I still think it's a very underrated thing.
I have to agree because when I started competing, I didn't use anybody.
Yeah.
It was just me, and I was doing well, winning.
Yeah.
I
That's
wasn't
amazing.
carb loading. I wasn't doing anything. All I did was I didn't even track.
Oh,
I
wow.
just
I'm jealous.
decreased my amount of food because my metabolism was so high that I was doing HIIT. I would do HIIT. If I did HIIT twice a week, I would disappear. But if I did it once a week, I was fine. So then when I hired a coach, it was actually advice. Someone said, get a coach and let's see how you look. And so I hired a coach. And now, because I had to think what you just said, I had to think like every great coach has a coach. And that's when I said, oh, because I was worried about, I have people that follow me. If I get a coach, they're gonna be like, I want your coach. Because why would I follow you? You have a coach. I thought that's how it happened, but it
No.
doesn't happen that way.
No, people resonate with you, and that's why they're going to go to you.
Yes.
And people that resonate with your coach, they're going to go with him. So you can't look at it as competition or anything
And
like
that's
that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I did in the beginning.
Exactly.
So now
Yeah.
I love having a coach
Yeah.
because it makes it so the thought process. I don't have to think about it as
Exactly.
much, and I have another set of eyes on me because I was so in my head about how I look, and I would get to a extreme shreddedness, and I didn't necessarily need that. But having an extra set of eyes of someone who's experienced with other athletes, they're like, no, we're where we need to be.
And now you get an opportunity to learn a different approach too,
Yes,
and continue to
yes,
expand your
yes,
knowledge,
yes.
because you're always, you're always learning, and that's really cool. That's the thing about bodybuilding, that you never stop, because there's always something better.
And that's when I've learned that if you're ripe, you're rotten. If you're green, you're growing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I like
now
that.
I like to continuously grow and learn more and more.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that terminology, I played professional basketball,
Nice.
played in Spain. That terminology is called the eye in the sky doesn't lie, right? There's somebody outside of you seeing something that you're not doing right. Like, I know how to shoot, but maybe that day I'm not following through. Coach would be like, Lance, just follow through.
Exactly.
Oh, I forgot, right? Or, hey, watch that guy. He's going back door. Make that pass. He's gonna cut. The guy is not. He's not seeing that. Make that quick pass. That's a quick bucket. So there's just things like that. That's why coach is very important. Coaches need coaches. Everyone needs a coach in life, in relationships, and in everything. All right. Yeah. I think it's underrated as well.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So my go, underrated, overrated, carnivore diet. Hey, I'm the guy to do it.
Overrated.
Overrated? Oh, okay. Tell me why.
I mean, I'm biased, but
Yes,
you're talking to some vegans here. So,
Right.
yeah, I think there's too much hype around it, and that's all I have to say.
So ancestrally, you were like, your ancestors weren't eating all meat, carrying around weights on your back. Right, with your shirt off all the time.
I'm all about peace and love. And again, if there's somebody out there that works for them, then sure. But I'm gonna still be here with my vegan flag, educating who wants to hear.
Pre-workout. Overrated, underrated, like the pre-workout powders and the little drinks here.
I don't want to let my bias. I think it's overrated.
Yes.
Because I feel like some people rely too much on caffeine to get that workout. But I do love like getting into that routine where, you get some pre-workout and you're like, okay, the workout's about to start. But maybe that's me being an addict to the caffeine.
Hey, that's all on you, because it's your journey.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's not something, we're not here to influence you any other way.
Yeah. But
it's what we just want to know what yours journey is.
Yeah, but I do think it's definitely overrated. You don't need it to get a great workout.
Okay.
Underrated, overrated. Miami's heat, Miami's weather.
I think it's underrated. People are like, oh, the heat, the humidity, and they're complaining. And I'm like, I am thriving. I love it. I mean, shorts every day, bikini season all year round. It's amazing.
Okay.
Like, people are just complaining, but go to the cold. I don't,
Ooh.
Who likes layers? I don't like layers.
And we did something. We worked out the other day outside on the track, and
oh, cool.
I have to say it was a little different because I was telling him, when I'm getting ready for competition, too much cardio, especially if my cardio is limited to a certain amount. I'm like, I don't know if I should be doing this, but I'm all right. It's fun, and I love being outdoors in the sun. And so, just in shorts, working out. Once I was finished working out, I was not hot. I was driving with the windows home down, and it was just perfect. But most people are like, oh my God, it's so hot. Let me get in and cut on the AC right away. It was just me enjoying that time, and my body. I think our bodies adjust to it if we allow ourselves to.
Exactly.
We are so accustomed to going into our buildings and they're freezing, and so you want it to be that way on a consistent basis. So then the heat and the Miami, like, oh God, it's not really that bad.
And how awesome was it to work outside?
Oh, I love it.
That's the best feeling ever.
Yes.
I love it. I love the heat. I love the sun, just the nature. Like, whenever I get a chance, like,
We got to get a workout at Muscle Beach.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
We gotta do that.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So is there any other thing that you would want people to rethink that's on your mind that you want to get out there?
Well, I think we cover it, that vegan food is yummy. The other day, I was getting, like, on my comment section, I shared the vegan steak recipe, and everybody was like, well, I'm not vegan, but that looks really good, and I would love to try it. And I'm like, well, you don't need to be vegan to try vegan food.
Right.
And you're probably eating vegan food already. You eat bread, you eat pasta, you eat, rice, beans, all of these things that are vegan.
Potatoes.
And I think people forget that.
Yes.
And you can try vegan food. You can enjoy it. You can just add one vegan meal a day or even a week if you want to. So it is yummy. I mean, we're not here eating crappy food, right? So
all I eat is lettuce and leaves. That's all I eat. All I eat is leaves off a tree. I go outside and pick the blades of grass and I just eat it. I got one stomach, not four.
I gotta say, man, Natalie's food always looks so good because I'm on prep too. And then when she made the steak, the first clip of the video, you're like, whoa, how did she get that color? And then she explained it. with the beets. And, you know, I know sometimes people are like, why does it have to look like meat? I thought you didn't want to eat meat.
Because it draws people in.
You know, but it's also, we're visual, you know, so a lot of people need the visual in order to stimulate their senses.
Exactly.
You know, me, you can put it all together, I'll eat it. I know some people have to separate their food, like I can't mix my rice with this. I cannot eat that. I eat it all. So you can mash it in a mush and put it in.
I love it.
But I'm so excited one day to taste that steak. I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, if you really want some good recipes, she's the one to go to.
Yeah, they're all high protein, macro friendly, perfect for dieting. I put all the macros always in there, the calories, just so people understand and know what's in their plate. Because so many people like eat and they don't know how much they're consuming. And yeah, I just want to like show them like, hey, look at how much protein you can get on a vegan diet. Right. So that's why I like to focus on the high protein vegans recipes, because I feel like there's not enough. So
yeah. So speaking about the people, where can they find you?
And IG and on YouTube is Natalie Matthews, Fit Vegan Chef, and then Fit Vegan Chef on IG.
Okay. Do you offer any courses, any classes?
I have cookbooks, and they're on my website, Fit Vegan Chef.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Do you have a YouTube or anything that they can find you at?
Yes, YouTube, Natalie Matthews, Fit Vegan Chef.
Yeah. Any tutorials on how to cook there?
Everything's there. There's playlists that are like cook with me playlists. We do a little bit of everything. I have like my whole prep journey. I've documented 5 seasons of prep there since the very beginning. People can see how much I've grown and evolved over the years and what's taken to get to the point that I am right now. We share recipes, meal prep, everything, lifestyle. It's super fun over there. I love my YouTube community.
I do too.
Yeah, it's fun.
I do too.
All right, yeah, definitely. So we'll definitely plug those in. You'll find that in the link in the description below. And yeah, Natalie, she's a IFBB Pro chef. That's an anomaly. You never really see that. She's the one. Is there another?
I don't think so.
You're not a chef.
I'm not a chef.
Well, he's not a chef, but he's another IFBB Pro.
I want to see what you cook.
Torre's food is so basic. I love
it. It's so basic.
But see, I feel like you should still share it because people can see like, hey, you don't need to, because some people will see my recipes.
And they're like, oh my gosh, that's so much.
It's so much, but I make them really easy. Yeah. I think they just get distracted by how cute it looks, but they're so easy.
Yeah, I mean, because I make her seitan balls all the time, and I love them. And so I still think we need to make them together because I feel like I'm doing them a little off.
Yeah.
They don't look like how yours look. But they taste good.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it.
We
have to do a video then.
See, Torre's not representing. See, me and Torre, we're Jamaican. Okay. All right?
The Yadman.
Yeah. So being Jamaican, we're supposed to be the representatives.
I know, you're right.
So none of you cook good Jamaican vegan food?
I cook.
Okay.
I cook. Okay.
So we need to go and film a Jamaican vegan food thing.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yes, man.
But yeah, guys, Natalie Matthews.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. That was fun.
No, we appreciate you coming out and spending this time with us as we rethink everything about the world and everything that's going on.
Yeah. No, it was fun. Thank you guys for having me.
No problem.
So this has been the first episode of the Rethink Show. Once again, I am Lance, co-host Torre Washington, Natalie, IFBB Pro chef, the one and only.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thanks. Congrats to you too.
Good job. Got to.
Was I sinking? I feel like towards the end I was pulling a George.